Well, supposed to have been a demonstration or a protest by a group of various importers and exporters as well as trade associations following initially the Trade Ministry or government's intention to implement what they call GCAP or ASHI in many respects. We had discussions here on Monday, following which during that very discussion we had an interaction with the Ghana Standards Authority. Well, following dialogue with the Ministry of Trade, well, they came to a certain conclusion. The conclusion was that the GCAP as well as the ASHI has been suspended in the meantime as they dialogue on the subject. We have Sam Awingobit, and he is the Executive Director for the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, and he is here. Thanks for joining me, sir.
Thank you.
And on Monday, you clearly made it visible that you would have gone on demonstration today.
That is true.
It was something you were bent on. What could have persuaded you then?
Well, thank you. First of all, let me use this opportunity to greet most of your cherished viewers and, of course, cherished importers and exporters in the country that gave us the mandate, and that because of them, we ride on their strength to put out their issues out there. And that was some of the reason why the committee that you wanted to make mission is called, we are called Joint Private Sector Businesses Consultative Forum.
That's the umbrella body.
That is the umbrella body. Comprises
together
of Importers and Exporters Association, Ghana Union of Trade Association, the Automobile Dealers, and the various Food and Beverages Association. Remember, I told you that those who can bring a full vessel of ship with rice and sugar, that is the Food and Beverage Association, they are all with us, part and parcel. I'm quite sure, let me use this opportunity to say a big thank you, big thank you to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana and his government, that even after we had meeting yesterday with at the Ministry of Trade, we were assured that you told us that first they issued a statement appealing to us to calm down. You've also issued a statement stating that GCAP was officially suspended. And of course, as they told that the Transport Minister also did issue a statement suspending it till 2nd April. In our meeting with them, we assured them that we want total cancellation. Roland, little did we know, the good news, in the night, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Trade sent a text message to me on my personal cell phone stating that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana has directed both ministries to call off both policies to indefinitely suspension. So as we speak now, His Excellency the President has stepped in, and GCAP and ASHI has been suspended indefinitely. I'm quite sure I asked the Chief Director, and they told us this morning definitely they were going to put up a statement. No more suspension. Maybe suspension, it can come back, but indefinitely suspension. So we thank the President for listening to the trading public.
As far as the various sections of your publics are concerned, you still stand by your position in your opposition to the implementation of the GCAP and ASHI?
Well, yes, we made it clear, we communicated clear to government that we don't need it. We don't need any additional layer of cost on the importing public. We told them, government clearly, that if you want to implement GCAP, let the DIC go out. But because there's a law existing now, the DIC has the mandate. Ghana is frowned to leave here and go to any other country to do goods and services, goods inspection, testing and sampling or whatever. So as we speak now, we are working with the DIC. That is what the law is mandated for. We've also told government that Antalya, that was also contracted by the Ghana Service Authority to do what do you call it, inspections and then provide the ASHI numbers and whatever before goods started coming to this country. We did not need it, and government have also directed. We even told them at the meeting that 2nd April we will go back, as it was earlier appealed to us to calm down because the GCAP has been suspended. We raised the issue of what about the 2nd April? We will go back if the Transport Ministry is there, or if the Ghana Service Authority there try to implement their policy on the 2nd April, we would hit the street again. So I think the information reached the presidency and said, no, he has to do something. And President has done it. We really thank President once again, as I've said it earlier, for taking the bold decision. Other than that, to this morning, we have seen, you see, I enjoy wearing blue or a bit in red because we were not happy. And then, of course, we have seen all the Smithers Road closed down. We have seen Makola, most big shopping mall that you can see, Malcolm, as a company, we have seen them closing now. We have seen Rana Motor, we have seen a lot of the graphic road closing down. That was when it was going down. We have seen Fish Harbour, the frozen food importers closing down. We have seen the agents not paying duty to the state today because we have a statement, we have an issue, and we are confronted.
What's the next step now, currently, as far as now that this very directive, because the directive is not saying it's not going to be implemented, it's being suspended. The implementation has been suspended, and there's a difference.
They've been using the word suspension from both ministries. This one is indefinitely directed by the President, Excellency the President. The President see the magnitude of the business community in this country. The President see the importance of the business community in this country. The President realized that he goes out to international assignment, he makes time to talk to investors, to have the confidence to come and invest in our country. So if he has both his country people and the expatriates all complaining that it is hardship, they can no longer do business in Ghana, their businesses are sinking, their businesses are dying, they are laying off staff and other things because so many taxes are on them and other policies are coming. The President said it will not be a good call if they allow us to hit the street with start shutting down the whole economy. Because, mind you, I told you, government make a lot of expenditure when importers, we are paying duties to the state. So this time around, he acted promptly, even though we wanted to meet His Excellency himself and let him know. There are so many numerous issues that we raised. We were saying that increment of VAT from 12.5%, 2014 to 17.5% is a worrisome situation. It has been implemented. We were saying that the introduction of 17.5% financial special levy, it has been implemented. It's a worrisome situation. We are saying that the 2% special levy on import bill, it has been implemented. It's a worrisome situation. We are saying the depreciation of the cedi, as I speak with you, it's $1 is to 3.50 or so. As I speak with you, it's a worrisome. We are saying it's one levy on the import for the destination inspection company. We are saying a payment of the conformity assessment program over 40 institutions in the harbor, which the ministry is in place to reduce this institution to maybe to prune down to 10 or to 6 institutions in the harbor. We are talking about case institutions and agencies have increased fees up to 1,000%. We are talking about $20,000 that imported the food and beverages people are paying to the Ghana Food and Drugs Authority to go and do site verification.
All of them being worrisome situations.
These are some of the major worrisome situations that we have enlightened. And we are talking about business, the petroleum levy, we are talking about over 80% increment of the utility, water and electricity tariff. We are talking about high cost of fuel running and businesses as a result of energy. So we have a lot of issues that we put before the ministry. And so they are working on
now, as we wrap up on the discussions, at what level or how are you going to take the next level of discussions with the ministry? Well, because even though now the president has directed, you still need to keep the dialogue on.
Oh, yeah, of course, yes. Well, I told you on Monday that we have bulleted so many issues. We knew from our mindset that we may not get 100% of what we were asking, but it will be a win-win situation. Now, the two major policy government has realized that it should not come. We thank government, and that is why. So for now, yesterday, from the time we left the ministry, they told us to go back and put all our concerns again and bring them to the ministry. We will do that next week. We will be sitting for a meeting and to discuss the issue, the way forward, and the roadmap, of course. So that is the issue. We thank all our members, we thank all the executive, we thank all those who support us to this fight. We really hope that next time when we call them, let all of them should be with us. Though some people are disappointed that they really wanted us to close down the shop, but if you're asking for something, your father said he has given you half of it. Thank you very much, sir. Let's take it from that place. Thank you very much.
Awingo Betasaki of the Importers and Exporters Association, but with the umbrella body, the Joint Consultative Forum, on the subject of having protests on the suspension of the GCAP as well as ASHI trade policies. And so we say next we have to move on to AM Talk and do the main discussions on what the stories are on the front and back pages of the newspapers. Do stay on.
Thank you.